I don't
sad.
acknowledge peregrine falcon is the fastest bird in the world.
No,
It's quick.
It is, in a way, the fastest bird, but only in a dive. In a dive, I am the fastest person. Like that shouldn't count. I need fastest bird level flight.
I think it's the
out
fastest.
of all, but see, the dive is the important thing. Peregrine falcons aren't getting somewhere. They're not. They don't migrate. They're there to kill. So that's like their attack. You know.
I don't
It's
know
just
what
not
if you Google fastest
earned?
bird, it says the peregrine falcon.
If you Google fastest bird level flight, it says the white-throated needletail.
Yeah,
That
now we
sounds
got
like
fucking 4 words in there.
I'm gonna hang on to what I said as.
I'm not. It definitely didn't mean to say you were wrong. Only that I don't acknowledge
You did.
falling with style as flight.
It's not falling with style.
Have you seen what they do?
pursuit.
They turn into a bullet and they are lasered in on like a mouse or a rabbit or something, and they hit it with so much force that it's stunned by just the impact. It's.
Do they hit it that fast? I would have thought they'd slow down by the time they hit
They
it.
fucking smoke it. They hit stuff in the air that fast. It's awesome.
It's like when Randy
Wait,
Johnson.
why are there
hit
mice
that
in the
bird.
air?
Well, they also kill birds.
Yeah, they're
But
smacking
if you're a
down the weak birds.
If you have it, you can sick it on stuff. I've seen this this black guy who rides around with his falcon, and if he sees a bird out, he sees a bird out the window, and he's like, "Shah!" And the bird it goes out there and takes out a dove and brings it back to him. And I was like, "Holy fucking shit, that was cool!" Like I kind of want to be a falconer now that you mentioned it.
Thank you for the dove, my fine falcon. This will sustain me for the next
You should
3
be a
minutes.
falcon guy. I watched On the Waterfront recently, and I finally got to see that movie. Could have been a contender. There were pigeon guys in that film. Everyone was a pigeon guy.
Pigeon guy. Ooh, I'd much if I walk into a public place and there's a corner of people talking and they're pigeon people, and then there's a peregrine falcon group, I'm sidling up to the peregrine falcon group because I know they're already bullying the pigeon people behind their back.
Yeah.
To their face, actually. But what are you going to do, pigeon bitch?
Yeah, right?
You gonna go tell on me with a message you carry miles from here? Good
Yeah.
luck.
Look at this. I can text, and I
Why
can
are
also blind
pigeons-
you from across the room.
I don't think I could find a pigeon if I had to without going to an urban area. Do pigeons thrive in, like, woods?
So I rarely would see them in the wild. I actually, during a dove hunt, shot a banded pigeon one time, meaning it's got a band on its leg because it's part of some program.
Yeah,
And
you got to
it's
quickly take it off, strap it onto another bird.
You know, you threw that motherfucker in the bushes. We felt like we had like fucking accidentally killed a person. It was like, we got to get rid of this thing. This is awful.
Oh yeah, you
is
thought
about it.
Matthew McConaughey from season 1 True Detective was about to come ambling down your.
Yeah, I thought Russ Cole was gonna. I think somebody killed a pigeon here. Somebody was
Who
gonna
could it
come
be?
for
That's
us.
20 years.
Although, like, there was one guy who actually shot a hawk on a different dove field many years later, and he claimed he didn't want to take ownership for shooting the hawk, and so it's just laying there in the field, this big dead hawk. It's a federal crime, and everybody's yelling, just get it off the field. And finally, one guy mans up, gets on an ATV, goes and gets the hawk and disposes of it in the bushes. Not 5 minutes later, the law shows up, like fucking game warden shows up, the guy who will arrest you and take you to jail for that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Game wardens are scary if you're a hunter, because if you were to spotlight a deer, for example, you go out, put a spotlight on a deer, blind it, and its eyes light up, and you shoot it at night. They will take your vehicle. They will take all the guns in the car. You're not getting them back. Then they're going to hit you with a fine. It's probably going to be $5,000-$10,000 or something like that. And you might have to do some bullshit community service or jail time. It's a serious problem.
My grandpa, this is probably like 10 years ago now or something. He was turkey hunting, and they only had it, like they were at the end of their permit amount. Like they only had one more, and he blasted one of them, and he didn't know, nor did the person he was with recognize that there was 2 turkeys, one directly behind the other, and he just collateraled 2 turkey heads, killed both of them in one shot. And he was like, my grandpa, of course, is just like, man, that's fucking crazy. That's, I guess just throw it in the back then. It was an accident. And like, he's like, the person I was with was like, we have to hide this turkey body. We're going to get in trouble. And he's like,
you will.
I know Jeff, the warden around here, he'd understand.
Oh, that's helpful. Yeah. Okay. See, so we had a situation where the guy's name was Pageant, I know his name because we saw him every day. He harassed us. Like looking back, it was 100% harassment. It wasn't just him doing his job. Like he would check our deer license every day. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you? You know we have a license
for a year, right?
Yeah, he was like just harass us. He would sit in his truck in the area we hunted in and wait for the shot and then come look for us to make sure we were doing the right thing. And it's like, we have a stalker.
But
he's
were you doing the wrong thing?
never.
I thought.
Well, I mean, I would shoot more deer than I was supposed to, but like if
so then yes. So then,
yeah.
I mean, it would.
Well, sure.
I never cheated in school unless I like didn't know what it was.
right.
Like the thing was,
I'd look at other people's answers.
Yeah.
I was like 13 or 14 and I was hunting every single day because I was homeschooled. And so I got my limit real soon. I want to say I've never missed a deer.
I've never missed a deer.
Yeah, we both have that 100% hit rate.
I haven't hit a deer.
Oh, well, you're still 0% then.
There's no misses. It's like Schrodinger's hit percentage.
Yeah,
but yeah, I would. I definitely killed too many deer, but I wouldn't kill them in an unlawful manner. Like we would never bait deer or cheat the deer. I would just kill more than I should have. That was kind of.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that.
What's cheating the deer? Is that when you
could use bait, you could use a spotlight at nighttime. You could those are the two main
basically
things.
Just not
shooting them from the road. Shooting from the road is a big one.
I was so hoping it was like the one deer thought you were going to shoot it, but you shot a different deer, cheated it.
No, it's mostly bait. It's people who use bait. It's people who use spotlights, and it's people who shoot them from roads. They're just patrolling basically, and waiting till they see the deer in a field and then shooting it, and like that's super shitty.
So you can't like set up a deer feeding station.
No, that's crime. You can, and if you're hunting over it. What you could do is what people do is they plant a feed plot. So they sow an area with a crop and then they bush hog it all down so it's dispersed. And in that way, through regular agricultural means, there is a baited field. So people will do that with all animals. Like people do that.
There's a guy on YouTube that does that.
Yeah, it's called a feed plot. But if somebody has just big piles of corn that they've poured out in the middle of the woods, that's kind of a different story.
If you're not subsistence hunting, you probably shouldn't be doing that. If you're subsistence hunting, then like do whatever you want. You're eating all of it and probably like, I don't know, making tallow from the hooves.
We have too many deer. They cause a lot of car accidents, and they fine-tuned the limit that people can shoot every single year. At least when I was hunting, they did, to go right along with the population. Like if there aren't hunters out there harvesting deer just for the fun of it, then those deer will be getting old. They'll be too abundant. They'll be too concentrated, and disease will spread. And the ones that die of old age die horrifically painful deaths. So hunters are even agree.
If I was a deer, I'd cheat the census. I'd try to get double counted, triple counted, make them think the population. Wait, I did it wrong. I need to hide from the census. I need to hide from the census.
The deer are so good at procreating. There's a million billion of them.
There aren't even
you can hit 100 with your car, and there's 100 more. They're like fucking orcs.
I wasn't aware how good in bed they were, Taylor. Thank you.
They're great. Yeah. They got those nice white asses
here.
Blue tight white butts. Yeah.
There's no wolves. There's no big cats anymore. There used to be
what I've noticed like around my house is the coyote population must be exploding because I hear them almost every night now. Like they're chittering and laughing.
What do they sound like? Oh.
Like honestly, yeah. Like that's a kind of
howling part I think of as a wolf thing. It's a coyote thing also.
They chitter more than anything else. Just that like weird high pitched chittering back and forth.
Not in like a sissy way, but like, are you scared of them? Are they a danger? Or do you walk to your car like there's squirrels?
No, they're
you don't see them.
They don't want to be seen, but like you can hear them loud enough. Like I'll be watching TV late at night, like with the volume high enough that I shouldn't be able to hear it, and then I'll just stop for a second and be like, yeah, that's got to be like a dozen coyotes, bouncing around talking to each other out there.
I've done
like within 100 feet of the house.
No, like probably a couple hundred yards away.
You can hear them 1,000 yards away. You can hear them very, very, very far away.
There's a lot of woods
stupid
in
animal.
like the forested area near my house.
No, it's the
like,
opposite. They're
running around.
communicating with neighboring packs, and in that way, they coordinate to share territory. They don't want to bump into each other. So at night, they'll have it's called a locator call. So it's the howling wolfy part. If you throw one of those up, Taylor, they'll call back to you. If you do it tonight after the show, if you're and wait, like you'll wake that pack up. And they'll start, and their alpha will yell back at you, and then his pack will join him in like chittering. And so
I'll try that.
What time do you hear that?
Usually pretty late at night, like
after the show, probably.
Like post show, I'll hear him sometimes. Like they're like one of my neighbors, like not like direct neighbor, but very close to me, has chickens like in a coop, like in their backyard and everything. And so I imagine they occasionally go there and try and cause a ruckus, get some meat.
We would ride around and we would play over a loudspeaker, a game caller, the howling locator call until you found the pack, and then we would drive to like the area the pack was in, and we would play a tape of a coyote fighting a fox or a coyote killing a rabbit, which sounds like a woman being raped. Essentially, it's just high pitched screams and barks, and it's real upsetting to listen to. But use that to draw them in, and then with predators, you can spotlight them. They just limit the wattage on the light you can use, so you hit them with the light to find their eyes, and then you shoot between their eyes with a scope. We did that.
Someone needs to start, killing coyotes around my house because they're clearly getting out of control.
You should do it.
Why don't you be the hero you're looking for?
Be the solution. Just go walk around my neighborhood armed, looking for guys. I'm looking for coyotes.
There's no fields near you. There's no like wheat fields or corn fields or soybean.
Oh no. Like there's a lot of forested area, but no like agricultural fields near me or anything. There's probably people with like good amount of land nearby that have like gardens and shit, but nothing major.
That's weird. I don't know.
Chickens.
For me, it's
that guy has
here.
chickens.
Yeah,
and I hear those in the summer.
Yeah, we exterminated all the coyotes in our area. There were no more because we just killed them.
And they're not like foxes. They're not even cute.
They're pretty ugly.
They're
coyotes are ugly.
Yeah, they're kind of grizzled.
They live a rough life. They're small, wiry things usually. But the problem is they'll kill livestock. They'll show up in high enough numbers that they can drag down, especially a newborn calf and kill it. And one thing they'll do, dogs will do this too. They're great at it. Is they'll chase on a hot day, especially a young calf to exhaustion and kill it that way. So they've got to go. They'll disembowel animals. It's real hard. It's real rough when you see what they do because it's nature's very cruel.
Nature's metal.
Yeah. Every coyote you'll ever see, you'll never be like, he looks full. You'll always be like, that thing needs a meal right just now, or it's gonna die and be eaten by his compatriots.
New Jersey has bears, lots of bears, and the way you said they were grizzled, like when I saw bears in the Rocky Mountains, they look like pretty healthy, good-looking bears. In New Jersey, like they had mange, they ate trash, and I don't know, none of them really looked like they were thriving.
I bet like the East Coast black bears see like postcards of grizzly bears and are like, someday I'll make it out west and we'll live out there. We just need your father to collect enough trash that we can retire and make our way to Montana. Surely we won't be bullied by the brown bears when we get there.
I think I want the bears to be exterminated. I don't think I want bears to be in this country anymore. I think that would be, if there was a vote for that, I don't like that they've allowed those
bears. What non-bitch animals would we have?
We have wolves.
We have way too many wolves.
Bears could be wolves.
Don't worry, they just signed some law to allow them to be thinned again.
When I lived in Idaho, it was like a major point of discussion that people from Idaho would be like, yeah, and then these fucking Californians moved here and they all signed, and voted for this horse shit to get all the wolves replaced and make it so you can't shoot wolves. And they think because you can't fly a helicopter out there and see them all hanging out that they're not there. And so they fly out there, they go, we didn't see any wolves again. And then meanwhile, they're expanding. There's hundreds of thousands of them now. And they recently, I think in Idaho specifically, had in the last couple of years had to be like, we gotta shut these wolves down, boys. Like they're not only coming back, they're flourishing in a way that the rest of the country could take a page out of the wolf book right now and see how much they're succeeding.
I thought I heard some story like they let the wolves come back. It wasn't Idaho, I don't think. It might have been California. And all of a sudden, like, great things happened. The wolves thinned out. Is it Yellowstone? The wolves thinned out the rabbits, and then the grass grew. And then when the grass came, like, the foxes came back, and like the whole ecosystem came into balance.
It goes too far.
The documentary's tagline is how wolves reshaped rivers or something like that. Because with the introduction of the wolf, it changed the whole landscape through what they do as sort of the garbage disposal of the wilderness. And that's great. But the problem is in the Midwest, that's where we raise our cattle. So wolves are just killing machines, and they're not going to chase rabbits, and they're not going to try to fight a buffalo, a bison, an elk, a moose. There's a dumb fucking Holstein, or not a Holstein, they'd be in the barn, but like there's a dumb cow over there. They just massacre them. So I saw it might have been that crazy lady politician that shot her goddamn dog. Somebody had a tweet that was
ironically, I bet she actually has her finger on the pulse of a wolf issue.
The wolf situation.
If there's an issue she knows about.
I never stopped killing them.
Yeah, I never stopped. I'm a patriot. That's what I thought my dog was that day. I went, wow!
Dude, she's doubled and tripled down. She tweeted something like, geez, I just shot a dog. I mean, you guys eat cows and chickens and pigs. And it was like, fuck, lady.
Yeah.
Is this a real tweet?
Did she do that wearing like a Mickey Rooney Korean guy mask? He's like, all you Westerners make fun of me.
Yeah.
You eat the other animal.
Who are we talking about? We're not talking about Christine Nome, are we?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about?
The Dakota governor.
I'm not sure if she's the one with the wolf situation, but there was a lady Midwestern
Dakota.
Lauren Boebert was arguing in favor of killing wolves, but I don't have an opinion on the topic.
Maybe
I don't know.
Colorado, I could see them getting out of hand there too. It's not too far.
I never saw anything cool in Colorado. We saw some. Oh, that's not true. We saw.
Really?
But you never went skiing.
We saw elk or moose. I think it was elk. I think it was some sort of deer thing I'd never seen before. It was such that we pulled over and was like, look at that. We don't have those back home. That's when you know you've actually traveled somewhere. And again, I love to shit on the Europeans because like you can travel so far in this country, the wildlife changes. There are new species that live in those regions when you go there. And so like I was like, oh shit, I've never seen an elk before. They're huge.
They're giant.
They're huge.
We saw
better than
trees that were like, I guess their roots connect and they're like the largest single organism on the planet. It was pretty neat.
Oh, that Discovery Channel special got me hook, line, and sinker when I was like 12. And it was like, coming up next after Hitler and the aliens is, the largest living organism of all time. And I'm like, whale? Giant ancient shark under the sea? No, it was a kind of moss.
It's fungus.
And I was like, fungus. The producer of this should be thrown in prison.
Isn't it like a fungus or something? Which is weird to me because
it may have been that too. I don't remember.
Mushrooms are they're not
the
plants
quaking
or animals.
aspen clone is the one I was talking about. It's a tree with white bark, and I guess they're all connected and make up like something like 106 acres with just one animal, this plant in this case. Yeah. But so this was actually my last trip when I went with my buddy motorcycling on those all Colorado mountain passes in Utah. And anyway, he mentioned it, but he has a tendency to have like a lot of facts in his head and half of them are true. So I fact checked it and I'm a terrible person. Anyway, it was kind of true. There are a bunch of animals that lay claim, or a bunch of places that lay claim to largest animal. One of them is those, what was it? Pando.
Well, there's different ways of measuring. There's the weight and there's the area.
The biomass.
Yeah. The Australian, what the fuck is the Great Coral Reefs? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
They also lay claim to it through one measure or another, the largest organism.
Yeah, it's kind of it. For me to care, it's got to have like a mouth.
And it's got to be here.
They definitely have
Australia
mouths.
doesn't get it.
Coral has a mouth?
Yes.
Okay, well then I have to reevaluate my.
Yeah, but you want traditional mouth. You want eyes.
It has to be able to move around. Like when I hear about the biggest animal ever, the blue whale is the true holder of that.
Yeah.
Like it's got to be able to swim and hunt and do whatever the fuck it's doing.
Blue
Can't
whales
just
are
be
dope
moss.
because they rank really high. I think you guys might know more on the like Earth's largest animals of all time.
It's
like,
number
usually,
one unless
Yeah.
they found something in the last 3 years.
So far, there could be something
It's
bigger.
cool that we live at the same time as the largest animal to have ever like, inhabited this planet. I
And the
usually think
smartest.
there's some other like what was the thing that ate the big thing at the end of Jurassic Park 4, the new
Oh
one?
yeah, don't get me started. They're making new dinosaurs with gene splicing. So it's
Yeah,
like they
they're-
made up a dinosaur.
They're fake newsing us with that.
I-
I do not want to see a dinosaur.
You know, I
film
don't
with
shit on your
T-Rex.
documentaries. I'd like the same respect in return.
No,
Chris
if I-
Pratt taught me a lot.
I literally saw that Jurassic Park where the T-Rex gets like fucked up at the end, and like this was probably 5 years ago, so I'm like in my late 20s, and I'm like this is bullshit. Couldn't take down a T-Rex. Like I'm like I have so much invested in the T-Rex
And
as
the
being the most
Spinosaur?
badass thing of all time. Yeah, and that wasn't real, made up.
Like it was like they
T-Rex
just
was
made
king.
like a super dinosaur. I really hate what they've done with that property.